Group classes are killing your dance business, and most instructors never see that coming. Hi there, this is Oreste Alito, and if you are a professional ballroom dance teacher, you are either already running group classes or you are seriously thinking about starting them, because when your private schedule fills up, group classes feels like the logical next step to grow your business. However, here is the truth. Group classes in our ballroom dance industry attract low investment clients. They dilute the premium positioning that you have spent years building. And they send a quiet signal to your market that your time is actually affordable, accessible to anyone, which is the exact opposite of what a premium instructor needs to communicate. Now, the answer is not simply more private lessons either, because you already know what happens when your calendar fills up. 1 hour, one student at a time, full schedule equal maximum income, right? There is no growing beyond that without changing that model entirely. The real answer is a structured program, outcome-based, fixed duration, fixed price, designed to serve multiple committed students. And the best part is that you only need a couple of hours a week. And then you can reactivate that as many times as you choose. I'm going to show you 3 things during this show. Number 1, I'm going to show you why group classes are quietly killing your dance business, even when the number seems to kind of make sense. Number 2, I will show you why private lessons alone will always cap your income, no matter how talented or experienced you are. And number 3, I'm going to show you how to build instead a structured program that earns you more money than a full private schedule in a fraction of the time. This is the model, and it starts right now. So let's start with point number 1, and I want you to stay with me here because on the surface, group classes look like perfectly rational business decisions. So let me show you what is actually happening underneath. When your private schedule fills and your income hits that familiar ceiling, the first instinct is to add more students without adding more hours. I totally get that. So group classes feels like the regular answer. Instead of teaching one student for $120 or whatever you're charging, you teach 10 students for $30, $40, $50, whatever you ask each. So same hour, but $300 or $500, depends how many people joining in the same hour instead of your regular $120. So the math seems straight, right? And the concept is very basic. You're just going to use the group class to collect more people. They pay a certain amount of money. You can put more people in the same room and make that hour more valuable for you than your private lesson, right? So again, here all looks fine. However, let me just share what's wrong with that. You know our industry. What does normally happen when you run a group class? The people that cannot afford your private lessons will be inspired of coming to the group class because it's a cheap way to get somehow in touch with you, to get somehow to be taught by you, okay? So the group class is whatever, $50, let's say. They come and do the group class because it's better than $120, which is the private lesson. And that's the logic almost everywhere I've seen in this industry. And deeply inside, you know that that's the same for you. So eventually, what message you're throwing out there? You have had a good intuition by putting more people in the same room, but you have now sending the message that you can get me for cheaper. And that group class, instead of being a place where you can collect high quality people and you can charge your premium prices, it ends up being a place where cheap students are coming to have access to you. They will never upgrade because the very first reason they come to you in the first place on that classes is just because it's cheaper than a private. And so you had a good idea, but it ends up attracting the wrong people. And then the scary part is that the people that join your group class might even enjoy it. And then they might say to other people, yeah, this is great, just come to the group class. You end up with a class full of people that just cannot afford you. And they are coming there just to enjoy the class. So is this what you want? Like, do you really want to create a way for you to be accessed for cheaper? I don't think so. And if you agree with this, if you also don't think so, stay in this episode of the show, because I'm going to show you a great alternative to this that can leverage still your initial intuition to want to group people together and charge them together to make your hour more valuable. And yet we can make it premium, and that can help you collecting high quality clients that are upgradable, and your regular teaching schedule will still be there. You will be making way more money with a program, and you're just going to feel fulfilled, and you're going to create a nice community, a nice pool of people around you, of high quality people that can become prime students, that can become competitive students, that you can enroll into higher ticket programs. How does that sound? Another very important point that you can consider is ask yourself, like, how many high-paying, high-quality students you actually got from your group classes in the past. It's likely that it didn't happen as many times as you would like to. Now, there is a way that you can actually use the group strategy to attract people that are all willing to upgrade. You collect people that are all in target with the audience that you want. And on top of that, even they don't upgrade, I'm going to show you a way that you will anyway make more money just with that group class. So again, the issue is not the revenue that the group class generates in a short term. The issue is what it's costing you to your brand. If you keep doing just regular group classes, it's going to cost you positioning, it's going to cost you premium authority, and gradually it's going to put your status lower and lower. And you don't want that to happen. And if what I just described sounds familiar to you, like if what I'm saying seems that is speaking to you, if you are recognizing your own business in these words, use the link in the description that you find here below to book your own free Dancepreneur breakthrough call. This is basically a specific call in which we will look into your exact current situation and structure, your client mix, your audience, your positioning, and we will identify together where the damage is happening and how can we reverse this so that you can start actually have a very profitable dance business. Hope that serves you. Now, let's move on into teaching point number 2. And that's going to be very brief and simple because you understand that already, I'm sure. If traditional group classes, we said, are not the answer, obviously teaching more private lessons is also not the answer, because it's just limited to the time that you have. Probably at this point, you're already fully booked. If you are fully booked, you already know that obviously you cannot teach more than that. Your body cannot afford it. Your life cannot afford it, because you gotta have some life. You have to have some time for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones. So obviously, more private classes are not gonna solve the problem. Your time is exactly paid by the minute. Minute, dollar, minute, dollar. So you wanna make more dollar, you gotta work more minutes. So that's pretty obvious. It's not a solution. So let's talk about something that you already know, but may not have fully accepted yet. You are probably one of the best in your field. You have spent years developing your craft, building your reputation, earning the trust of your own dance students. And the reward for all that work, what it is? A full calendar, a packed week, an income that, no matter how hard you push, refuses to go beyond a certain number. For some people, this might sound like a great opportunity for the people that are not fully booked, but for you, the person that actually is fully booked, I know that very well because I was there. It feels like so draining. Having a full schedule is, and I don't want to sound like ungrateful. Obviously, it's very good when you are busy and booked, but it feels like so draining. You work so hard and you know you already reached your limit. It's just a very, very bad feeling. I would not wish that to anybody. However, you have to acknowledge it and you have to think, okay, how am I going to change that? So once you understand that and you fully accept that, you do see that there is no end to this road. There is no way to break that wall. And so if you are in this spot, now that where it becomes interesting, and that's really when you have to work on a different structure for your business. And if this is exactly where you are right now and you feel like, oh my gosh, this is me, I teach 40 lessons a week, I make $4,000 a week, and yet I feel I don't have enough money, yet I feel I cannot do all the stuff that I want to do, I have no life, I'm tired, I cannot take a vacation, if I get scared, if I get sick, I get scared that my students get sick because then they don't come to lesson. So if that's you, I warmly invite you to click the link in the description below and book your Dancepreneur breakthrough call with me, where we will actually check your specific situation. We will go through the numbers of your business, and I will do my very best to show you how you could change that for good, so that you can stop being anxious about the money all the time. You can actually have a life, afford to be out. I just came back from a 10 days vacation in Hawaii, so I really don't want to remember that because it's kind of a little bit sad to be back, but that's life. So if that's you, again, book your Dancepreneur free breakthrough call with me, and let's check what we can do to help you out of this stuck situation, okay? So now that we have established that, number one, group classes are actually killing your business. Number two, teaching more private lessons is not gonna help and is not doable, even if you wanted to. Now let's move into number three. So what can we do to actually fix that? And here is literally where everything changes. What you need is a structured program, and bigger than that, a series of structured programs. Those are not group classes. Those are obviously not private classes. This is a third model entirely, and it is the model that generates predictable, recurring income without adding hours to your week. Here is what it looks like in practice. You design a program with a specific outcome. Not ballroom dancing lessons, an outcome. Something like, in 12 weeks, you will perform your first competition routine with full technique, musicality, and confidence. That's an example, that's an outcome. Or in 8 weeks, you will have the foundational partnership skills to dance socially at any ballroom event in the world. A specific, defined, time-bound transformation. That's what a structured program is about. That program has a fixed curriculum, fixed duration, and fixed price. It is not open-ended. It is not come when you can. It is a structure outcome-driven experience with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that structure, that fixed container, is what creates the commitment into your students. You know what? This is the key insight that most instructors really miss entirely. Students do not commit to lessons. They commit to the outcomes that you're going to generate for them. When you sell a private lessons, you're selling an hour. When you actually sell a structured program, you're selling a result. And people pay significantly more for result than they pay for time. But let me show you the math, but in this time with the program model. So let's say that you design a 12-week program. And let's say that you charge $2,400 per student. You run the program with 5 students simultaneously. 2 hours per week, every week, for 12 weeks. If you make the math, this is going to be 24 hours of your time. So 24 actual hours that you're going to teach these people. And the revenue is going to be $12,000. Okay. Now, let's say that you did that 24 hours in private lessons. Obviously, 24 hours is going to be, let's say, 24 lessons. You're going to charge, let's say, $120 per lesson if you take out floor fee and stuff. So that's going to be roughly $2,880. So again, $2,880 if you do the private, the teaching private classes regularly, $12,000 if you do the program with only 5 people in it. Now, same hours and very different revenue. Does that make sense? Do you see that? And here is the part that makes this truly powerful. That program does not disappear when it ends. It reactivates. You run it again with 5 new students, or even the same 5 if they want to just go to a next level and you want to, upgrade that course to a different level. So you have built a curriculum once with this program. You can now repeat the same process with a different outcome, with a different curriculum, and you can deliver it separately to another group of people. So again, once you learn the logic of creating structured programs with a clear outcome, a clear time frame, a clear blueprint and curriculum in between, you now can price it the way you deserve to be priced. You can offer the service the way you're supposed to offer it. You are gonna be considered as high status because you're offering something that is prestigious and is interesting and is valuable. Now that group class, that structured program, is not a random group class anymore for people to come and pay you less. It becomes a way to collect interested people in results that they would not get unless they would get into the program. Because let's be honest, also when you do private lessons, you cannot teach an entire journey. Like when you do private lessons, you have to teach that person and you're gonna go into details, you're gonna go into specifics. But if you want to teach an actual skill, like for example, you can teach the skill of how to stay in balance on heels. If you are a lady, especially a lady dancer, obviously you have experience on heels. You can make a program that is about that. And now you can help a big group of people getting satisfied with that specific promise, with that specific outcome that you're offering through your program. Now you have 2 hours a week of your life dedicated to this, and you can structure it, price it, and sell it all over again. And if you have another idea of another type of transformation that you can deliver through a structured program, you can do that the same. This is the real big turning point. When I started to think about this, I thought, how can I even charge that much for something like this? But believe me, it works. When you understand, when you build it and you see it on your own, with your own eyes, what you have built in terms of outcome, in terms of blueprint and steps. By the way, I made a show about this a week ago, so you can find it in my YouTube show, how to actually build a program. Once you see it, you will understand the value. Your clients will understand the value, and you all of a sudden are selling high ticket programs. So all of a sudden your group classes are not this cheap container of cheap students, but it's actually a process that benefits other people, where finally your skills that you have learned for so many years are finally getting a good use. They are finally where they're supposed to be. They are finally helping the people that appreciates your skills, your knowledge, your wisdom. That's what we do in the Dancepreneur method. We literally take a person that never did this before, that wants to try this, and we lead step by step this person to start the first structured program and monetize it. Because once you do it one time with one outcome, with one blueprint, with one system, one round of that structured program, you will already make a very good revenue. And then you can start it again. You can do it one more time. You can create a new structured program. You can go on like this. And now all of a sudden, your hours are more valuable. And you teach less time, you make more money. At some point, you might even be able to totally retire from teaching one-on-one and only teaching programs, if that's what you want. Some people still like and enjoy the one-on-one because obviously you can do program competitions. Like me, for example, I love to do my one-on-one. So I keep many hours of my day still for the one-on-one, because then I sell the yearly programs for my program students, and those are very valuable and very profitable, obviously. So, but if you wanted to, you could convert your entire schedule into structured group programs. And that's really what we help people to do in our Dancepreneur business. As I said before, there is also a commitment issue. When you give a structural shift to your client, that changes everything. When a student enrolls into a fixed duration program with a fixed price, paid upfront, or in a structured payment plan, whatever you like to do, they have made a decision. They are not coming back week by week wondering if they will continue, or like wondering what is going to be about today, or blah, blah. They have committed to an outcome. And that commitment changes their behavior. When they commit, they change the way they behave towards it. They show up with intention. They practice. They progress faster. They get better results. And better results generates referral, generates trust, generates possibility to upgrade, possibility to become a more committed student with you. So again, the structured program model solves all three problems at once. It replaces the group classes that are not good for you. They are killing your business because you are not attracting committed, outcome-focused clients. You're just attracting people that want to spend little. It breaks the private lesson ceiling, because obviously now you start getting paid more by hour because of the structure of the group. And it creates the recurring, predictable income that gives you actual financial freedom, not just a full calendar with a ceiling. Does that make sense? And don't get me wrong, this is not a shortcut. It's not supposed to be a shortcut. This is not easy money. This requires you to think like a business owner, to design your expertise into a deliverable system, to price it based on the value of the outcome rather than the cost of the hour, and to position it to the right client with the right message. But when you do this, everything eventually changes. Everything goes into a different direction. You will start seeing the value of money in a different way. You will start see the value of your own time in a different way, because once you start doing, you will realize, oh, my time is not $120. Why my hour is not $120? My hour is $1,000. And then guess what? Your status go up because your self-value goes up. And the other people recognize that. So let me bring this together. So number one, again, group classes are quietly killing your dance business, not because the revenue is zero, but because of what they cost to your brand, to your position, to your pipeline of serious high investment clients. They solve a short-term problem, but they create a long-term one for you. Number two, private lessons will always cap your income. Not because you are not talented enough or you're not good enough or you're not working hard enough, but because the model has a built-in ceiling. Full calendar equals maximum income equals minimum freedom. And there is no growth beyond that. Number three, the structured program model is your answer. Outcome-based, fixed duration, fixed price, designed to generate more income in fewer hours, with more committed students and a system that reactivates as many times as you choose. It's basically a money machine that not only generates income for you, but also helps you to grow your authority and to finally deliver your real, true value and worth. This is the same model that generated $20,000 in 2 weeks for my first program. $20,000 in 2 weeks. That's what I did the first time I launched the program. Not by working more, not by filling the room with group students, but by packaging what already existed, to package the knowledge that I already had, the curriculum that I already structured, the expertise into a structured, sellable, scalable program that attracted the right clients. That's very important, and converted them at the right price. You have everything you need to do this. You have the talent, you have the experience, you also have students already. The expertise is clearly there. What you need now is the structure, the design, and the position. And also the confidence to price it at a level, that it deserves. I hope that this serves you. And if this sounds interesting at all to you, if that sounds like something, oh my gosh, I really would like to explore this opportunity, if you feel like you are genuinely willing to change the trajectory of your dance business, use the link below in the description to book a free Dancepreneur breakthrough call with me. We will sit down together, we will dig into your specific situation, look at your current offering, and map out exactly how a structured program could actually work for you, your market, your students, your goals. I want to see how I could possibly help you. And if I feel that there is a fit, if I feel that I can help you, I'll show you how we could do this together. Welcome to the Dancepreneur method, and I hope to see you and to talk to you about your own business as soon as possible. Hope that served you.